I'm not saying it because I'm one of the guys behind Uche, but I think projects like Uche and Delta have the best chance of surviving because I think they offer customers, for the most part, the biggest selection. They have prominent locations, et cetera. I think it's other projects that maybe are a bit smaller, that they don't really have anything strategic or something that really differentiates themselves, are going to potentially suffer the most. We've all seen and heard about a lot of new other retail development projects. Almost forget about talking to the developers. I think what most people forget is talk to the retailers and ask them, are they going to commit to any new deals? And the answer is no chance. I was just talking to some of the big electronics companies. I mean, they're closing stores in different markets around Europe. So the prospect of them even opening new stores in Serbia is again, zero chance. For us at MPC, what our strategy is we're working very hard with the ECE to try to attract new retailers to Serbia to complement the existing team that we have. Even that is a daunting task at this stage. When you mention Serbia to some big international retailers, you get a very mixed reception. So I think we all have we all are going to have some very challenging and difficult work to convince people that the Serbian economy is one that is attractive for foreign investors or any investor at this stage. I think long term, of course, it's attractive. For us, for the opening of Uche, I think again, nobody's going to make money in 1-2 years' time, and we all accept and realize that. What we're focusing on is customer service, and I think again it gets back fundamentally that customers, you have to really treat each customer with a ton of respect and really try to help them with their business. So what we try to do is we try to help them with their product offering to maybe make their space a bit more user-friendly for the end consumers, to try to help them elevate their sales per square meter. If you look at effort ratios, which is the key metric as basically turnover divided by rents, effort ratios across the board in Serbia, I think, are unsustainably high. So that means two things have to happen. One is either sales have to increase or rents potentially have to come down. So what we're trying to do is obviously work very hard to increase sales across the board. Again, I think that rents are going to come down in all asset classes, whether it's residential, whether it's office or retail, due to the fact that, quite frankly, purchasing power across the board is shrinking instead of growing, unfortunately, for the next 2 years. So again, I think you have to have a very competitive product to really attract the key retailers and to help them through this process. So again, I think that the next 2 years for Serbia will be a very challenging outlook. I think the prospects for any new development, big new development, are zero. And especially on the retail side. On the office side, of course, we have a few new buildings which are finishing, but I think after that, I don't really see much happening. I think rents on the office side are going to plummet, and I think retail rents are going to decline significantly for the assets that cannot differentiate themselves, and I think for assets that can differentiate themselves, we'll have a much easier time because, again, I think it's all about where that retailer can generate their money from. The last thing that we touched upon was, sorry, just reviewing my notes, which I didn't write it down. Actually, I can't even remember the last thing that I wanted to talk about. But again, that's it. I mean, I think everybody's going to mention the same thing. But all in all, I think, again, next 2 years are going to be very challenging. I think, again, we're focusing on products that are long-term, not short-term. I think, the key is that we're going to have to work with all retailers to help them survive as opposed to thrive. And I think, though, coming out of this thing, I think Serbia will be a very attractive place, though, for investment, as well as for foreign retailers, but foreign investors as well, and local investors, because I think Serbia still, when you look at it on a per capita basis, is potentially undersupplied by another 1 or 2 potential shopping malls, and certainly residential. I think, again, the biggest opportunity in real estate where I think people will thrive is on very, affordable housing in good urban locations. So again, we're very optimistic, but for the short term, it's going to be all about customer service and asset management.